Good morning and welcome to another edition of your favorite TV show, Surviving the UK. Today we are going to be discussing an interesting topic, the challenges faced by international students in the UK. My name's Anna and I'm your host. Every year there is a growing number of international students pursuing higher education in the UK. Today's discussion takes a comprehensive look at the different issues international students face when they arrive to study in the UK, as they adapt to the new environment and the new life experiences. To discuss this today, we are privileged to have with us Nana Adam, the Senior International Manager of Anglia Ruskin University. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you
Adam.
so much, Anna. It is my privilege.
Thank you. Also, on our discussion panel today is an expert in academic guidance and curriculum expert. It is great to have you here, Isaac.
Thank you, Anna.
So much.
Glad to be here.
Right, Mr. Isaac, what does it mean to
Internationalize.
Thank you so much. I've been having a hard time.
Internationalization of the curriculum. This involves incorporating international dimensions, intercultural and multicultural dimensions into the curriculum to get students to experience that international dimension of education. Okay, it's because internationalization or the curriculum is not only about classroom work. It means that it's a college-wide or university-wide approach that needs to be taken. So student services are involved. There is a variety. There is that diversity in the university. And so it's a university-wide approach that leads to, that achieves better internationalization. Sometimes internationalization is misunderstood to mean we internationalize because we have international students. But that is not the case. We don't internationalize because we have international students. Local students or home students benefit. We provide them that opportunity to develop global mindsets, to develop the skills that they need for their future careers. Now, this career, we live in a global village now. And you find yourself working in different countries, and it is important to be culturally aware.
Absolutely.
Okay. It is important that we all learn what internationalization is, and that for every university to engage in it. And it is encouraging that many universities are now putting in place some toolkits to enable lecturers and all university staff to internationalize the curriculum for the benefit of students. It doesn't benefit, what also helps with the international students is that they feel part of the community. They feel included, they feel integrated into the university. Absolutely. And that's the benefit that they get from it as well.
Great, thank you so much. Good mental health involves being generally able to think, feel, react in ways that enable one to live their life in the most optimal way possible. Siraj is an international student in the UK who is he's very far away from home and family, and who occasionally shares his feelings through music. In this piece titled Shades of Me, he gives us an insight into his mental state. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Sriraj. I'm from India and I'm an international student at Anglia Ruskin University. I'm pursuing my master's in music therapy. The song Shades of Me is all about the different emotions and mood swings of a person. The track is trying to portray the emotional difficulties, the different emotions or thoughts, the million thoughts and the mood swings of a person amidst the chaos and uncertainties. So through the track, I'm trying to convey the message that it is okay to be going through a bad time, and it is okay to go through a million thoughts or mood swings, which is quite normal. All we need to do is to allow those emotions and thoughts to go through us and move with the flow. When I initially came to England from India, I was going through a lot of emotional difficulties and disturbances, and that's when this track originated. I was reflecting about my own emotions and thoughts, and I felt like I should give this track to the other people.
Welcome back. We're still discussing the challenges faced by international students in the UK. Securing accommodation has always been a big challenge for international students in the UK. Nana, our understanding is that as a senior of international manager for your institution, the safe arrival, successful recruitment process, and the well-being of the students are a priority for you and your team. So what we'd like to know is, are you aware of these challenges faced of some of those students?
Yeah, I think, thank you very much, Anna. I think international students, there are three major challenges currently that they do face. One is accommodation.
Oh, yeah.
Accommodation is a big,
it's huge.
I think it's a big issue. The other two is the whole integration, their welfare, which you did mention. And then lastly, issues to do with academic progression. Now, I just want to narrow in on the first two, which is accommodation.
Yeah.
So accommodation, most UK institutions don't have enough accommodation facilities, and that has resulted, so you have a spike in post-study visa, you have a spike in student visa applications. However, accommodation has stalled. So most institutions are not building new accommodation blocks, and therefore that has meant that most students are not able to stay on campus, rather having to stay with relatives and colleagues outside campus, which does not provide a healthy learning experience.
Absolutely.
I mean, the good news is a number of universities have taken the bull by the horn and are putting up several accommodation blocks. Here over at Anglia Ruskin, in Chelmsford, they're putting up new accommodation blocks. As well, they're looking to acquire more private properties for the students' behalf. So it is work in progress, but I would say another, we're beginning to see the effects thereof in about a year or two, at which point the accommodation situation is going to get better. Then lastly, with your student welfare, I believe it's a huge challenge. So what we do is, as an Anglia Ruskin, we have the International Student Advice Service, whose responsibility is to advise the student and make sure that they are in a proper state of mind, and that any issues that, that psychological and mentally that will play upon their mind are dealt with.
Thank you. The need for good mental health amongst international students in the UK cannot be overemphasized. Several students have developed a range of strategies aimed at protecting and enhancing their mental health. Let's take a quick look at this student who has adopted a yoga as her own strategy and balancing her social academic activities and indeed achieving a good mental health.
My name is Olya. I'm a student of film and TV production at Anglia Ruskin University in Cambridge. I like doing yoga because it helps to keep my mind and body fit, and it helps to get rid of anxiety and stress on a daily basis. It's quite important for international students to do yoga exercises because students have many challenges. Being a student might be a really difficult time, and being a foreign student in the UK might be even more complicated, so students should keep practicing and meditate.
Welcome back to the show, Surviving the UK. And we are still discussing the challenges faced by international students in the UK. Joining us now on the show, there are 3 international students who are studying at universities here in the UK. Divya, right? Sabin, is that right? And Tumiwa, sorry. Thank you. Sabin, what would you say is a major challenge faced by international students in the UK? Kind of like what you felt like you experienced in your friends and what you think is the main thing.
There are hundreds of challenges faced by international students, and
a lot.
I would say the biggest challenge for me was the restricted working hours, which is of 20 hours. So any international student coming to this country can't work for more than 20 hours, which is not sustainable. I mean, nobody can survive with, 700, 750 pounds in a month. And you know, such an increasing high cost. I mean, the living cost in this country is like really high, and you know, it really gets difficult for any international student to live with that amount, paying their rents and meet their expenses. They need to travel, they need to, you know, buy groceries and things like that. So it's really difficult for any international student to work for 20 hours and then, you know, survive. So it's a very challenging situation for everyone. And the second biggest challenge which I faced was I traveled really late because I got my visa really late. So I couldn't attend my induction process, which was offered by the university. So any student coming to this country, if they don't go through the faculty welcome, international orientation and course-based inductions, they would never have an idea about how education system works in this country. So that was really challenging for me also. So education system in my country was entirely different, and then in this country it works entirely different. So plagiarism, academic misconduct, I wasn't aware about any of these things, and it was covered during the induction. Since I traveled late for various number of reasons, I missed my induction. So university do try their best to communicate to the students that inductions are really essential for the international students, but for some reason, I mean, for various number of reasons, they don't attend these inductions, which are, so I really want UKVI to make inductions mandatory for the international students. And the third challenge for me was finding a placement, because I did my master's in business administration, which was 1 year course and then 1 year placement. So finding a placement was really difficult. You know, limited opportunities, language barrier, the limited time frame the university gives to you to find the placement was, you know, it wasn't an achievable task. It wasn't a really easy task. So it was a big difficulty for me to find a placement. And if I don't find a placement, I'll go back to a 1 year course, which I never wanted. So that was another challenge. And out of all these, the biggest challenge which I feel is any international student coming to this country, if they don't pass their final dissertation or if they don't successfully finish their course, they won't be necessarily eligible for the graduate route, which is very sad.
Wow,
I mean, so
that
graduate
is
route is the route which UKVI introduced, and where an international student successfully finished their course and they can stay in this country for another 2 years. So if any student for some reason cannot successfully complete their course within the limited time given, they won't be eligible for the PSW or graduate route. These are the biggest challenges which, you know, I think are worrying the international students. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Absolutely, because to balance everything and all the problems, plus working, plus having good grades to be able to graduate, like it's insane. It's so many things. Yeah, too many things. Too many things to balance. Oh my goodness. And now let's talk about visa renewal. Nana, why would a student need to revise their visa?
Thank you very much. I think
thank you.
The issue has got to do with the UKVI policies and its regulations. So the UKVI does expect that for any student that's coming, they would come in with a visa valid for a set time, and as well when it expires, they're able to renew it. The bigger challenge students, current international students, do have, Divya, Tomiwa, and then Sobin do have is the high cost of international student visa renewal. At present, it costs an arm and a fortune. And I think given the contribution that international students do make or do contribute towards the UK economy in terms of intellectual capacity, in terms of tax contributions, I think it will only be fair that the government does consider reducing it. I would stand in the middle and say somewhere half it. At present, renewals cost a huge burden to international students. And I think, like I said, I know bigger bodies like Unite, the National Union of Students, of which Tomiwa is part, are looking to put together a proposal to the government in that regard.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Right, so Tomiwa?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it right, first time, great. So you were a member of the National Student Union Representatives.
Right. Yeah.
And what's that body like and what are the roles in it?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting topic here, and I'm actually a victim of this. Mr. and I can attest to that. It was a back and forth email, and I have to just skate through. So, back to your question, the National Union of Students is a national union that is representing the students in UK in the national level.
Absolutely.
So the union is projecting a mental awareness to the government, how they can fund students to enhance their mental health ability. The union understands that the NHS is doing their best in order to secure that to stand in that place, but they want a partnership with the NHS in order to actualize that goal. So these are the areas the union is been influencing government policy to achieve a better conducive environment for students to stay.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Yeah, mental health is definitely super important because, as we were saying, to balance everything, plus have a mental, stable mental health, it's really hard, isn't it? It's a lot of pressure. So that's really important they're doing that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Amongst the many challenges faced by international students in the UK, it's food. Many of the foreign students in the UK find it really difficult adapting to kinds of food available locally because they're not familiar with them. In addition, locally sourcing those foods that they are familiar with is difficult, as there are only a few shops that sell such food items. And where such food items are available, they tend to be very expensive. And it is especially true with ingredients necessary for Nigerian cuisine. Let us visit with Kingsley, a Nigerian studying here, and find out how he has been managing since he arrived in the UK. Let's take a look.
My name is Kingsley. I'm an international student here in the UK, and I've been in Cambridge for about a year now. And you realize that most times when we try to make our own food, it's really difficult because there's not much shops within Cambridge, where you can get these ingredients that you could use to make most of the Nigerian meal. I stay in Cambridge and I stay at Mill Road. Mill Road happens to be one of the busiest area in Cambridge. With lots of shops, food shops, restaurants. But the sad part of it? Amongst all the food, all the restaurants in Mill Road, you can't, you can't find an African food in any of the restaurants. Not even one. Now, the shop, there's so many shops where you can buy things. We have just one shop where you can just get a few or something closely related to the to Nigerian ingredients for food. Just one shop. And this same shop, I'm telling you, like I said, it's just one shop that you can get these things. And you know what happens with the monopoly? So the prices are really they're really pricey. It's very expensive for students.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we are discussing challenges faced by international students as they pursue their studies in the UK. Hello, Divya.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? You doing okay?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you. But to be honest, I've not enjoyed my social life at all.
Oh,
no. There was pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
So going back to your first question about education, I think most international students have faced academic problems, academic related problems, because the academic structure in their country is different to the academic structure in UK. Even Sobin, Nana, everyone have they have already told us. So I think to figure out those things, it personally took me around 4 to 5 months itself, how the structure works, where I should seek help. I think that's where the student face problem, where they should seek help. And every student's first language is not English. Its second language is English. So even to come and communicate over here, and there's a lot of plagiarism and those kind of thing, and there's a lot of referencing. We have heard a lot in UK about referencing, but in my country, there's no such thing called as referencing, and the tutors, everyone cut the marks for referencing around 15-20 marks. That's where student mostly fails, or they face a lot of problems. So I think a student should first know where they can seek help and what all facilities the university provides. Because I always go to my friends, you know this, do you know this, how can I do? But they don't go to the university to seek those kind of help. Because university have so many things like study skill plus, like how to write in academic, the English language barriers and those kind of things. So I think that's where the problem starts. And working 20 hours while studying, that's a big issue, I feel like. And you need to look after yourself, your mental health. Then you need to, like many students have their bills to pay. So those kind of things going on, and maintaining that balance. I think that's where students face a lot of issues.
Absolutely. And I think as well, a lot of the new students are doing adult life for the first time as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So a lot of them are like leaving the home for the first time. So like all the basics.
That's the issue, the point of cultural secularization and how to inculcate yourself in a new society. You know, we have different backgrounds, we have different values. We have different mental states. There was a time I was going to the train station and I saw a white lady staring at a flower. It's their lifestyle, it's their culture. So that's it. So for balancing, as you said, when you come, try to adjust to the situation. Find your route around the corners, and you know you're going to just have a very successful stay in the UK. But these problems are really challenging, and they are obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for our wonderful viewers as well. And we hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.